Hi guys, it's Silvarret again, and I gotta do a confession. I haven't played Rollercoaster 3 in about a month, I think. Now that's partly due to the fact that I had a cold, so I couldn't record anything. Then I had a trip to Rome, so yeah, of course I couldn't do anything during that week either. And then there's partly Rollercoaster 1 and 2 and Kill la Kill. So basically that happened, so that's why I'm kinda out of the Rollercoaster 3 mode, and sorry if I suck at some things today. I just need to get used to the controls and the way Rollercoaster 3 works again. I always find myself saying Rollercoaster Tycoon or something like that. I guess Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 is way too long of a name, so I say Rollercoaster. Okay, that's basically. But what was it I wanted to say? There was something else, but I'm not even sure anymore what it was. I guess I'll move on then. I'll think of something anyway. I guess I'll remember in a minute. But anyway, station. I remember that I needed to do the station. Now what I do with the station is I start off with the base. This might not the base, drop the base. Now basically this might not be a very good idea, but I always like doing it. So yeah, I guess you can do this well. I guess it gives you kind of an idea where you want to place the walls, and other than that it's just a generally nice idea to work from the ground up. Of course, it's going to be really confusing if you start in mid-air. This should be somewhat obvious, but of course you never know, right? So basically that, and I didn't even really want to use these walls. I think I just took them without thinking, but they look kind of cool, so might as well use these walls. But yeah, I'm using Moby's curved walls for this, but you can use up to anything. I'll put a link for this in the description, but I'm probably going to use Shyguy's planters at some point in time. Those have some great walls in it too. Alpine Village sets 2 and 3 have amazing stone walls in it. But for now, this is just going to be, I say for now too, way too much. But anyway, this is just going to be a basic generic wall, so I'm not going to take any theming or any complicated things. Now for the walls, this is going to be a little more hard because of course this is generic theming, and generic is not really a theme that many custom scenery creators use. There's always at least some kind of theme, so I guess that I should have some kind of theme as well, but I've no clue what. But when in doubt, you can always use what's that set called again? I always have trouble finding it. There it is, SKSHR91, and it's got some awesome walls in it. Somewhere here, yes, that's right. And they're just very generic. That's basically why I sometimes use these. And yeah, they kind of look like that fairground-ish station or Six Flags station when they didn't bother to theme anything. But I don't think it goes well with the stone base, so I'm not going to use that. Then I might as well use some stucco from Alpine Village. I don't see a problem with doing that, but then again, it's Alpine Village. Okay, so yeah, so we're just a few minutes in, and I've already encountered a problem. This is always how it goes. It's just some trial and error with different custom scenery sets and see what works best. But it can get a little annoying. I'm not going to use the curved walls again because they're just as big as the base wall, and you don't want that. You always want the base wall to stick out a bit, just like it does over here. That little, I don't know what you'd call that, but it looks cool, so yeah, whatever. Now, I guess that I could use Alpine Village walls. You know what, I might as well just try it. You never know. So stucco 4H, probably going to make it white, make it point to that direction, so you have the nice base wall. You know what, it's actually decent. I can go with that. Yeah. This is actually something I rarely tried, but it doesn't look that bad. It's going to be a little bit generic, but a little bit tropical-ish, I suppose. I think I'm going to go with a tropical theme, but not the usual tropical theme where it's just palm trees everywhere, and that's something I hate about some Rollercoaster 3 coasters. The creators are just like, oh well, foliage, well, screw foliage, I'm just going to place palm trees everywhere. That's basically a tropical theme in Rollercoaster 3 in a nutshell. but it shouldn't work like that. You can have pine trees and other things as well. And now I always like to put something in the corners of these things. I think I'm going to use Ralphie's Beaver Homes 2010 for that today. Going to take that nice little edge, because I'm living on the edge, and going to place that there. Oh, that's not too bad. Though I have no idea exactly why I'm doing this. No, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'll see about the roof later on. Speaking of the roof, by the way, only place the roof when you're finished with the rest of the station. I think many people do this. They build a station, and then they put a roof on it, and then they're like, oh shit, but I still have to place some, still have to do the interiors. You always gotta do the interiors and then the roof, of course. This is not The Sims where you can look through roofs, though that would be kinda cool. And of course I forgot some walls. That's what always happens when you're me. You always forget every single thing. So I'm going to not replace those, just going to place those. Right, so now a fence around this thing, and an exit and an entrance. Entrance and exit, sorry for mixing that up. Right, so I wanted to have the exit over here, because I think I reserved this area for the... Yeah, I did reserve that for the queue. So now... the thing that I usually do when I've already built my station and I still need to do the exit and the entrance, there I go again, mixing them up. I just add some things on the side. I don't really have them connect to the building with some... this is hard to explain. I usually just use girders and supports and loose staircases instead of making them part of the building, if you know what I mean. And that was not a 9gag reference. If you thought of 9gag at that moment, you're just as fucked up as I am, I guess. Right, so a fence around this thing. Fences are always a bit tricky because you gotta choose, and there are too many options. And I think I'm gonna go with Station Gym's fencing, because that's always kind of a safe choice. And going to take that nice little railings 2, and going to change that color scheme. What should I do? Oh, this looks pretty cool. Just something I like to do, which is actually not very realistic, I think, but who gives a, is to just have these fences have the same colors as the track of the coaster, or the supports of the coaster, whatever you like. And I just find that people comment on my videos and they're like, oh, recurring color scheme, that's awesome. And I'm like, yeah, it's weird, but okay. So apparently that looks cool, and I must say I kinda like it, but I wouldn't do that for the entrance fences thingies. The... what do you call those again? I have no idea anymore. Whatever they're called. Those things you have on the sides of the track so people don't jump in front of the track and kill themselves. Right. Speaking of those, I haven't even got a set for that. I'm always just using Station Gym's... I mean... Shyguy planters for that. See, I totally lost this game. And yeah, so basically what I do with this is I have these planters on both sides. And yes, both sides. There are always discussions about this going on when people are like, yeah, you only need them on one side because only one side's the entrance. Look, I don't care. I want them on both sides. And I mean, in some real life coasters they're on both sides, and on some coasters they aren't. But I like symmetry because yeah, OCD and all that. So that's why I have them on both sides, I guess. Now for the staircase, I like to use Aeceana's path covers, not because they're beautiful, not because they're inspiring, but because they're easy to work with. Sorry, that's me sometimes. So I'm going to take the asphalt covers because they're nice and recolorable and nice. Did I mention that they're nice? They're not very nice, but they're easy to work with. And going to give them about the same color as this thing. Well, I can't get exactly the same color because that's how custom scenery works. Right, so now you gotta take the other set, because that's how this set works, and use some asphalt covers from this. I feel like I'm way too energetic today. Is that a problem? I don't suppose so. Right. But anyway, stairs, asphalt, beautiful. Whoa, I am impressed. Oops. And whoa, look at that. Whoa, never seen such beauty in my life. Right, so I have no idea what my plan was over here. But I guess I can just do this. Yes, yes, this is good. Finished. No, need some more paths. I have no idea what kind of covers I'm going to use for the paths around this, so I can't really make queue lines yet, but I feel like it's a good idea to just add this already. Not entirely sure why, but let's connect it to the ground because there's no lake anymore. Right, and that should do the trick. And I'm going to support it later on. Don't worry about that. But for now, I just feel like there I go again, saying for now again. I just feel like not doing any of that because I want to do the roof. Now, if you do the roof, well, like I said, you gotta do the interiors first and then the roof, but speaking of the roof, you gotta do the framework first and then the actual roof. So that's a bit tricky because you need to keep in mind how your roof works, so I do need to find the roof that I'm going to use first, which is going to be, I have no idea what that's going to be. But I think this set looks pretty cool, the Shingle roofs by NYR, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. We've got a straight full, which is looking nice. Got a nice bright color scheme right there, because this coaster is going to be bright and nice and happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof, by the way. Speaking of roofs, no, sorry for that, guys. Right, so I think I'm going to use this one. It looks decent. I guess I could go with that. Yeah, I might as well. So it's about 2H to 0H, I think. So I need to keep that in mind. Really need to keep that in mind, because if I mess up the framework, I gotta do it again. Or take other roofs, but that's not a good idea. So you gotta keep in mind what the shape is of your roof tile, and then do the framework, and then put the roof tiles on top of them, because that's really important. So there are different types of sets that you can use for the roof tiles, for the roof framework. I guess Moby Steel Jungle can do the job in some cases, but I'm not entirely sure if I want to do that today, so I'm probably not going to. Maybe Vodhin's Girders in Glass will work, but not too sure about that either. Though I could have some white girders instead of Moby Steel Jungle stuff. You know what, it's a bit old school and not many people do it anymore, but this is just a simple tutorial, you know, it won't hurt to do that. So yeah, basically all of the framework that I'm trying to do right now, you can do exactly the same thing with any kind of framework set. It doesn't matter, just choose whatever you like to choose. Don't choose this set just because I'm using it. You can take whichever set you like a set. Moby Steel Jungle is a good choice as well. Shyguy's WaterWorld has some supports in it that are slightly smaller than Moby Steel Jungle. You can use the steel beams with an H or L face, I think. Not sure what they're called, but there are different sets of that. And basically anything, any metal kind of pipe shape, except for Desmatzi's industrial sets, because that would look a bit weird. Right, so I think these girders are okay. Now I just need to come up with something for the sides and something for the middle, because I think I started a bit too low, because if I keep this up, it's going to be very low on the sides, and that's not something I want. So, I think on the sides I want it to be 4H and then 6H here and 8H in the middle. So I'm going to have to kind of mess with that a little, because yeah, otherwise shenanigans. So yeah, if you want to have 4H, you just take a 3H with a 1H, because 3 plus 1 equals 4, I think. It's a good thing that I'm not doing the hardest mathematical program there is in my school. Yeah, screw math class, it sucks. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the middle roof, because the middle roof is always the one that causes all of the problems. Nobody likes the middle roof. Middle roof needs to go away because nobody likes it. That's basically my idea of this entire situation. By the way, I just changed my mind. 4H is way too low. I'm going to change it to 5H, otherwise high peeps are going to hit their heads. Yes. Yeah, that seems a bit better. It didn't even match up the way I had it before, so yeah, good idea to change that up. This is still not looking great. It's a lot of boring girders right here, so I want to have some horizontal girders as well, because if you're supporting a roof, don't just take vertical supports everywhere. I see some people doing that, but it doesn't look that good, and supports aren't that strong if you do that. It's a bit better, more realistic if you just add some horizontal girders as well, or horizontal beams, or horizontal pipes, whatever you're using. Except on the sides here, because this is not really working out. Yes, this is working out though. I might add a few more girders, because this is, yeah, not really fitting, because I've got random supports everywhere and they're not really matching up. Well, it is symmetrical though, because that's one thing to keep in mind. I don't like asymmetrical stations. Yeah, don't like them. I just realized there's a box girder 4H, so all that pain I went through just a minute ago with those 1Hs and 3Hs, and it was all for nothing basically. Now this looks decent. I don't think I need to place any more girders aside from the ones in the middle right here, and maybe a few more connecting girders. And I see I missed another 3H girder, so that's good. I think there are a few more girders I can connect. Yeah, the ones in the middle. So, framework's almost done, but I still feel like adding a little extra framework, because this doesn't look sturdy enough to me. Well, it looks sturdy enough, but it doesn't look good enough. That's the difference. And I'm going to use this to connect that to this, and it's already becoming one big cluster of weird. That's great. Yeah. I'm in a bit of a pickle right here, because this isn't too great. This wasn't my idea of a nice framework thing. I guess it's time for the where are you? Damn it. I mean the H-frame girder things, of course, but I can't find them at the moment. So that isn't good either. Maybe they're in this set. Nope, of course they aren't. Oh, there it is. CSF Steel I-beam set. That's what it was. So I'm going to use that I-beam set, and what was I talking about? H-beam? It's I-beam basically. So this set, and I'm going to take the vertical ones, just to have that mix of girders and steel beams, and yes, beautiful. And perfect symmetry. Symmetry. I'm such a native speaker, holy shit. Right. It's becoming even weirder. That's not good. That is not good. I do not approve of this. Though, I suppose when I add the roof to it, it's going to be looking a bit less weird, but I'm still not too sure. I feel like adding this right here though, because otherwise this is going to be weird and not sturdy. And this over here. Yeah, this is not one of the best stations I've made. That's because I suck at generic stations. By the way, generic stations suck. Best stations are themed stations, always. It's really hard to theme a coaster to generic. That's kind of impossible. You're always gonna get a theme, even if it is modern, which is kind of what this is like right now. So then, with all the framework finished and decent enough, I guess, you can add the roof. So and now it's basically just filling in the gaps. That's kind of what this is right now. And of course you need to hold control and not be stupid like I am. Just hold control, place all those roofs everywhere. And if you've done it correctly, at least I've done the placement correctly, the roofs will fit perfectly and you'll have no problem at all. And you'll have no problem with the framework afterwards. And maybe this is looking a bit weird right now, but I still need to add eaves and all that. Speaking of eaves, by the way, I sometimes see people forgetting eaves. Or never, ever, 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 ever forget those things, because they're what's making roofs look... This is already a bad sentence, I'm trying that again. Because eaves are what are making... fuck, I'm fucking up again. Never mind, eaves are beautiful, that's why. So, you're gonna take some eaves. I think they're in this set too, aren't they? Oh, apparently they have a different name here, but it doesn't matter, those beautiful things. You gotta take those and add them to the building, because that's what make the roof look better. Right. And of course also some things on the side, which I'm pretty sure are in this set, and if not, I should just add them myself, but there should be some in this set for the sides as well. Not sure what they call them though. Apparently they don't even exist either. But we've got straight halves, so I can use those instead. I'll just do that then. So I'm going to use some straight halves here to, let the roof extend a bit beyond the framework, because if the roof only continues up to the framework or the wall, then you'll have nowhere to let the rain fall on the sides, and it doesn't look good either, and it's just that every building has the roof sticking out a bit. So that's what I basically meant with all the rambling that I just went on about. So yeah, now I need to find the corner pieces here. These actually look pretty cool. And weird. This is not going to work out. Maybe I just need to add that other piece right here. Yeah, there's a bit of texture overlapping right here, but it's not like I really care. Come on. I can get rid of a bit of that texture overlapping just by removing this one and moving it up a bit. Oh wait, never mind. I screwed up. I just need to use the half pieces. Okay, forget about everything I just did. You can just take the half pieces and add those here, and it'll fit perfectly. So that, basically. So that now I can look at the final result and be like, meh. Yeah, this is definitely not the best station I've ever done. But before I whine about that, I still feel like adding some extra details then. Going to try to add some extra flat beam decor thing right here. Except this one's angled, so that's not going to work. Maybe this will make things look a little bit better. You know, I suck at improvising stations, basically. I really need to work a little more on the station before it can look really good. This is definitely not like the station that I built for, what's that thing called again? That one B&M Flawless that I had, which I did a tutorial for. Basically that. You know what, I'll just link that tutorial in the description, because this is not leading anywhere. Though this is a good generic station, you can do better, I guess. Although it's also hard for its size, because this is a pretty big one, and generally the bigger a station, the harder it is to make one. Now I'm just going to add this on the top as well, and then I'm finished with that. I can see that there's a bit of a lighting bug going on, but that's not too big of an issue. Right, so now that I've done that, I still feel like adding some more beams kind of things. So I think I'm going to add some metal girders from this set. Ooh, that's actually pretty cool. I should have done that earlier. Well, not over here because it's clipping, but looks pretty cool right here. So yeah, basically that. And then I'm going to add some simple windows just to, yeah, get rid of that big white boring field that the wall is right now. And as for the windows, I don't really have many generic sets that I can use, so I'll just have to look for some good sets with some good windows in it. Perhaps gift shopping has some nice windows, but I don't think so. No, nothing. Station Gym sets usually are not really well known for their windows, so in that case, Shyguy's WaterWorld set is always a great choice for generic coasters. There should be something in here. And there we go, some nice generic windows. WaterWorld set never really displeases me when it comes to this. Now I'm just going to try these. Oh well, they're not too bad. This is not the best station I've ever seen, like I said before, but oh well, it'll do the job. And of course, when you're building buildings and you're thinking this is an ugly building, I'll remove it. Don't. Just keep on building on it and see what it looks like when you add foliage, because most of the times when you build a building and it looks shitty and then you place foliage, it suddenly looks awesome. That's what often happens to me, at least. Right, so in terms of framework and all that, this station is pretty much finished, but I still feel like adding something extra, because of course the roof is a bit boring, and if I remember correctly, then this roof set that I used should have some nice roofs in it to allow me to make some dormers. I'm not entirely sure, but they should be somewhere in here. Yes, triangle left. This should do the job. And it does. So that's a good thing. I'm not going to place it there though. Just move it up one square. And add one of these things on the right as well, if I find a piece that works. Let's see, because I don't use this set too often, but there should be an inner piece for the other side as well. Oh god, I'm so confused right now. How did I mess this up? Right piece is the right, I got it. So oh, that's ugly. That's not what I tried to do. This is always a bit annoying. Roofs are always a bit of a trial and error process because you can't really see where you're placing them. But there's not really a way to get rid of that unless you turn off scenery, but of course you're building scenery, so that's not going to help you very much. And this is generally how I build dormers when there aren't dormers in a set that I'm trying to use, and it's something that never really lets me down because it always works, almost always. As long as you can find sets with pieces like this, you can build dormers yourself. Or if you have a building of which you're not supposed to see the interior, you can mess with dormers as much as you want. Now I just need to add a cap to this. Just going to try out the half ones because I don't want too much interference with the interior of this building. You know what, this dormer is a bit too high. I don't generally like it when dormers are on the top of a building. So yeah, sorry, I'm going to lower the dormer because otherwise it's going to be looking a bit awkward. Basically that's the reason why I'm going to redo all this. You know what? I'm just going to move it 1/4 tile. That's probably the best idea. And yeah, that's probably going to be perfect. So the way I usually go about doing this is going to find a wall that's going to find the nearest wall to the place where I want to have the roof, and then count up a bit. Like for example, I can see that it takes this much cursor movement to move 1 square tile. So taking that in mind, you can move the wall if you've found the right piece with your intelligence, unlike me. Dear God, how did I do that? Damn it. Right, so Oh yeah, okay, I took the wrong piece. That's why. Okay, so I got the right piece, and then I just go here and count one little square, one little 1/4 of a tile, and then move it up, and then it should be good. Except in this case, it's not good because I messed up. Well, that's not very nice. My frame rate is dropping. That's not very nice either. I'll guess I have to finish this off very soon, otherwise it's going to be unbearable. I'm on about 12 frames per second right now, so it's being a bit annoying. Oh, whoa, that was 7 frames per second. That's not good. Right, so I'm just going to try to finish this roof as quick as possible. Didn't even add the thing on the other side. That's great. You know what? I'll finish the doorman next time. I just want to finish this because I haven't really been being very efficient lately. Just because I need to mess with roofs, and that's basically how it goes all the time. You know, you see, it's really hard to do a tutorial for this for a game like this, because like you see, it's very much trial and error, and it's a very painstaking process. So yeah, I'm going to finish this up for next time. I'm going to finish this up next time because you need to see everything. Sorry. So till then.